Welcome to Brain Friends, where two neuro nerds talk all things aphasia, language recovery, culture, and community. I am Dr. Davetrina Seles Gadson, a clinical speech-language pathologist and neuroscientist.
And I am Angie, stroke survivor and aphasia advocate.
Welcome to our show.
Welcome to Brain Friends.
We want to thank all of our listeners for downloading the podcast. We appreciate everyone listening, so please tell a friend to tell a friend that we are here.
And we are.
Hey, Angie.
Dr. Celeste, what is good?
How are you?
I am great. How are you? What is cracking?
I am so excited. I feel like every time we talk, I get so excited. I'm like cheesing from ear to ear, like, hi.
What's going on with you?
Well, it's probably because I got a good night rest last night.
Oh, and that's very, very good, because that's what we're going to be talking about today, which is why you're so smart, because you probably be getting all your rest.
Oh, honey, look. Now, I don't play about my bedtime.
Oh, see. So you cut the phone off, you do the whole thing?
Well, so I wouldn't say that I am a light sleeper,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't disturb easily.
Okay.
So
you out.
Yeah, I don't really have to turn my phone off or anything like that. I'm just not going to hear it.
Oh, hey, cut mine off at 11 o'clock. Like, there's nothing that we need to discuss after 11 o'clock.
Is that what time you go to bed? Is 11 o'clock?
I have to honestly admit, when I first had my stroke, I did go to bed. I was a little bit more conscious of, and it really wasn't me, it was my husband. He was like, you need to go to bed. You're going to be tired. Or I was just naturally tired. But I would go to bed. I tried to set myself a schedule to go to bed at a very specific time and get up at the same time, because that would help me start a regimen. But it was really sleeping. I'm not a light sleeper either. I can there was a point I was, but I can sleep through it all now. It don't matter. By the time my husband's up, dressed in a full tuxedo, I'm like, oh, so you weren't in the bed next to me? Okay. Who knew?
Who knew?
I'm like, all right, well, have a good day.
Yes, I'm usually give me 9:30, and I'm ready to lay it down. But
that early?
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, which is your brain will give you a signal when it's time to go to sleep. So oftentimes you'll start to feel tired. And what happens for most people is they'll continue to do something. Or they'll, get up, but they don't listen to their body when your brain gives you that first signal to lay it down. And so when you don't lay it down, then your brain says, oh, we're still up. Send more energy, send more, release more, release more. We're not ready to go to bed yet. And so that's why there's always this window to where your brain and your body will naturally be tired and ready to go to sleep. But if you don't lay down, then it's going to give you more. If you don't acknowledge that, then it's going to think that it's not time to go to sleep, and it needs to send more power to stay alert.
Oh my goodness. I have to do better, because my body all the time is like, and you need to shut it down. You need to go to bed. And I'm like, I'm just going to order this off of Amazon.
See?
I'm just going to listen. Last night, I'm on Instacart. Next thing you know, I'm on some weird page. I'm about to order the credit card. I'm like, oh my goodness, how did I get to this page? So I didn't even order it, but I don't even want to talk about the stuff that comes to my door. And I'm like, oh, I must have ordered that at like 3 a.m.
Yeah. So I'm excited because that's what we're going to talk about today is aphasia and sleep and how your brain needs it.
And how your brain needs it. It is, and it really affected my I could tell if I'm tired, my silver rate of speech, I slur my words, my blockages become very much more pronounced. I can't tell a linear story all if I'm tired. And it affects, that's the first thing that goes. Like it's like once that happens, I should have been asleep 2 hours ago.
So when that does happen, do you use that as a sign to go to bed or stop talking, or do you power through?
I power through. I'm shame. I know I need to do better. Don't look at me. I don't you look at me in that tone of voice. Don't you look at me in that tone of voice, Dr. Celeste. I see you eyeing me down. The point is, I know I shouldn't, I should go to bed when my body says I'm tired, which is actually around 10:30, but I just don't.
Yeah. I want, well, hopefully after our discussion today, you will. And I
I
also think it's interesting that when you said that, you kind of like looked down and hid
no,
behind your microphone. So I couldn't make eye contact with you.
because I'm shaved. No, because I know better. I know better. But sometimes even when we know better, you shouldn't have had that cheesesteak for lunch, but you ordered it with extra ketchup. Like, stop playing with me.
Right,
Sometimes we do what is not in our best interest, even when we know better.
right,
So sometimes, even with, especially within your recovery, it's about making the right decisions in real time,
right.
not to just know it.
Especially in your recovery because your
Yeah.
brain is still healing. And when we think about benefits of sleep, sleep is when our brain stores those long term memories and starts to filter out some of the things that you don't need. So things that may have happened throughout the day that you don't really need to hold on to. And so it's during that sleep process that memory consolidation happens. So if you're not, giving your brain an opportunity to really consolidate that and remove those toxins while you're resting, then that's why
Mhm.
when you wake up in the morning, sometimes people have experienced like brain fog or like I
Right.
still can't, get it together.
Right. Because you're still exhausted and your brain is still asleep. Your brain is like, I'm not ready yet. And I think it's like, in here again, I'm 5 years, oh boy, coming up on 6 years post. You know what I mean? And it's so I'm in a different space in my recovery. But in the beginning days, I was actually afraid to sleep because I was afraid I was going to have another stroke in the middle of the
Mm,
night. And I realized I was not getting to REM sleep. And I actually made, if I can find that video, I'd made a video of me talking about it. And I'm like, I want to sleep. What I was trying to say is, I want to sleep, but I'm afraid if I fall asleep, what happens is I kept waking up as I would get into a deep sleep because it was like, oh, no, you don't. I ain't even giving me no another stroke. You know what I mean? I kept waking myself up. I know, right? But that's but I was
wait,
freaking exhausted.
wait, what'd you say again?
You ain't gonna get me no another stroke.
I ain't
Oh
gonna
no, you
get
don't. Oh no, you don't. Yeah, just out here, not sleeping, exhausted. And so it took me a while. And everything was just so heavy at that time. I felt like I say in that video, I'm like, I feel like I have on two mink coats. And what I wanted to say was, I'm really tired, but that's all I could say. It's like two mink coats. And that was my way of saying it's really heavy and I'm really tired. but I can't sleep
Mm-hmm.
because I'm afraid if I fall asleep, I'm gonna have another stroke. And y'all ain't catching me out here like that. Nope.
Well, because the other thing that you have to realize is that when you have sleep loss, what's happening is that you'll tend to focus more on negative experiences and fear because it increases activity in the amygdala and decreases activity related to judgment and decision making that occurs in our frontal lobe. And so it's not just this idea of sleep if you can, especially during recovery. And even without a brain injury, it's these things that really impact brain health and
Right.
recovery.
Mm-hmm. And I think the depression that kicks in and the psychiatric challenges that are affected if you don't get enough sleep. And again, that's with or without a stroke, but specifically if you've had a brain injury of any kind, poor sleep is a problem. And it increases depression and anxiety and
Yes.
all of those things that are making it harder to sleep. Because
Mm-hmm.
if I have or even um just the way you kind of the brain fog, the neural fatigue, all of these things add in to having a bad night's sleep. Because stroke or not, if you didn't get enough sleep, that's just a bad day. Ain't nothing worse than not feeling well and only sleeping 3 hours and then having to get up and go to work in the morning. Or you fall asleep and next thing you know, the alarm that went off, you've been asleep. It feels like you got 10 minutes, but it's been 8 hours. And you're like, okay, this ain't gonna work.
Right. Right.
That brain fog and that fatigue and that over a considerable amount of time, as that adds in, it just gets worse. And again, it's putting more, well, let me ask you, is it putting more like pull on the frontal lobe? Is it like drawing more? Like, is there an additional problem?
Well, it's decreasing the judgment and the decision making that occurs within the frontal lobe. And that happens kind of if you think about like a seesaw, so as one thing increases, that amygdala, that fear activity increases, that it can subsequently decrease other functions.
Well, wait a minute. Well, what is the amygdala anyway?
So the amygdala is part of the limbic system and is a neural network that mediates aspects of our emotion and our memory. And so when we think about flight or fight,
Mm-hmm.
and fear, those emotions are regulated or are triggered by the amygdala.
And that's more active after a stroke, which is why a person with people with strokes have 25% more anxiety disorders.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's yeah.
So then
And post-stroke.
imagine that on top of you not sleeping,
Right.
because
You
poor
ain't gonna catch
sleep,
me out here.
you better go to bed.
You ain't. Oh no, you don't.
You better get in that bed so you can decrease that amygdala activity.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay. And that because of the fight or flight and that emotion and that would that have anything to do with the like the emotional liability? I always want to say libations, but that's a
Mm-hmm.
drink.
Libation is a drink.
Hey. Okay, let's stay on track. But I think but again, if you're not getting proper rest, it can definitely be a problem all the way around, and it can
Mm-hmm.
cause more problems than just you being sleepy in the midday. Get your naps too. Those
Naps are
naps.
perfect. Now, let me come through with something about these naps.
Come on through. Come on, naps.
Now, I was not always a believer of naps because I
Mhm.
think I had that mindset of your body will tell you when it's time to go to bed. So just go to bed when it's time. But I notice sometimes that a good nap can help me not drink caffeine,
Mhm.
can really help me be clear, especially if I'm writing and I'm getting stuck.
Mhm.
Then, either a walk or a nap
Yes.
is
Yeah,
perfect.
baby. Baby. Yeah, a good nap. You have to listen to your body, and especially again, I cannot stress enough in recovery, many naps as you possibly can without feeling like you just ain't doing nothing. And I get that, but it's your time to do nothing but recover. You've had a brain attack. Give yourself the time, give yourself the grace to recover. And you can do that. The biggest thing that you can do for yourself is get proper sleep, or as they call it, your sleep hygiene.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the sleep hygiene is something that is unique because sometimes and I get on my mama about this because I'm throwing
Sis,
her
that's
sis,
what's up, sis.
right. Sis is good when it comes to taking care of physical,
Right,
but
right.
that sleep hygiene. So let me talk a little bit about some of the things related to sleep hygiene. They say that poor sleep is less than 6 hours or more than 9 hours.
You can oversleep.
Yeah. Well, and I think the thing when we think about the oversleeping, I think it taps into depression sometimes,
Oh, okay, okay.
and so you don't want to be at any end of the spectrum.
Right. So 8 hours is your sweet spot.
Right, right. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I get about 8 hours, I get about 7 to 8 hours. I recognize for some that's too much. Now, my
Mm-hmm.
mom gets about 3 to 4 hours, which is not healthy to me.
Optimal at all. But
How
she
much do
is
you
so
get?
fit. My
Mm-hmm.
8. I get my 8 now that I'm home and I don't have a job. Um I get a solid 8, and it took me a while to learn to relax and actually sleep because I'd been at such a high level. It was in the car business there's a joke, if you have to work 9 to 9, which 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., that's only a half a day. I know. It's a very odd way of seeing the world. The car business is a subculture within itself. But right, that's the running joke. Like, oh, you had to do an iron. They call it an Iron Man when you go 9 to 9, and that used to be a standard thing. Anyway, I'm not going to regale you with that. The point is, the what also helps is no bright lights before bed, and no screen time. And
Right.
I know you want to play your games on your phone and watch TV, but that blue light, I'm a big proponent of no screens in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I cut the TV off when I would go to bed. I stopped doing that honestly about 30 years ago because
Mm-hmm.
I read something and it was just like, it's just not what you really want to do. You want to fall asleep and allow your body to relax. And also what I learned is whatever was on TV would be what I would be dreaming about.
Oh yeah.
I can't. So I'm dreaming about the news. No, that's not
Right.
okay. That's not
Right.
okay. That's not what I need.
And I know some people say they need the white noise or they need something in the background. And that's always been challenging for me when I am with those people.
Right. With those people. And y'all know who y'all are.
Cause I'm like, or at least turn it down. Like, I know
Right,
I'm a
right.
guest in your house, but
Right. Well, listen, I will listen to music. I am big on music when I go to bed, and it'll be on sleep and it'll cut off. If I'm in a weird hotel, or at a hotel, obviously all
I was about to
hotel
say, do
rooms.
you go to weird hotels often?
Lady, but if I'm in a hotel, if I would be traveling by myself, I would put on Sports Center and then put it on sleep. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the only time I think, because that noise got me from listening to the other noise that would be around.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
music wouldn't hold me.
Wow.
But at home, I can just put on I have a specific sleep playlist. It plays the same like 15 songs, and that's just fine. And I know they're not too loud. They don't have too much bass. They're
Mm-hmm.
just they're regular old songs, but it's just very specific.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's the type of things that people need to do to ensure good sleep.
Now, what about, do you have trouble falling asleep? Or when you hit the bed, when you hit the pillow, are you out?
I think I can fall asleep pretty good. I'm
Yeah.
not usually up for I now listen, nobody goes to sleep faster than Charles. Charles
I
is
might have him beat though, because as soon as I recline, that's it.
Hey, can you sleep anywhere?
So I anywhere is loaded.
Okay.
I I can't sleep anywhere, but I think that's because of my military upbringing. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's where anxiety kind of comes in, is, not wanting to be caught slipping.
Right. No, right. Because what you're not going to do again. Oh, no, you don't.
Oh no.
Oh, no, you don't.
I actually would stop going to, growing up, I stopped going to slumber parties, especially during like, once I was in high school, I was
Mm-hmm.
okay because I could, speak up for myself. But in the lower grades, because I was always the first one to go to sleep, and they would do like the toothpaste and like all these tricks.
Right.
Ain't nobody
Right.
got time for that.
No.
It's a
No.
slumber party. We've partied and now it's time to slumber.
When does the slumber start? Why are y'all still up? It is time to slumber. You know what? I'm gonna go sit with your mother, because I'm gonna go sit with the adults because they're about to slumber. They got this rum out. I ain't got a drink because I'm 8, but they're about to get a nap, and I'm gonna do that with them. Lady, listen, I have to give a quick shout out to your moms. Okay, I saw
Mm-hmm.
the Instagram post of her, and what is that she is doing? She is like killing it out here.
She's so fantastic. She is does fitness modeling.
What?
And yes, she started during COVID, which just is a thing to show, she had always wanted to do it, and, thought with her age and all of these
Mhm.
things that it wouldn't be appropriate. And then COVID happened, and she just, got excited and realized that life was too short. And
Oh,
so she's
wow.
been doing it now for about 2 years. And
That's it?
and you see,
She
I stand behind her in a lot
e
of those pictures.
listen, like that's my mama.
I know.
She is looking phenomenal. And when I saw the picture and you're like, that's my mom on the caption, I'm like, okay, that's just her girlfriend. She calls her mom. And then I'm like, oh, okay, that's her mother. And she is looking quite fit, quite strong. And this is why she's only getting 4 hours of sleep, because she's got to get to the gym in the morning.
She's at the gym at like 4. Like I spoke with her today and she said, I was at the gym from 4 to 7.
What?
So when I'm usually with her, I mean, look, the way my ministry set up, I can't do no, I could, but I'm going to catch you when my body wakes up after the 8 hours and get in the gym.
Right. I'll meet you at brunch. How about there's mimosas at 10? Can we talk about these mimosas?
Right. So she's going to bed around 11 and then she's up around 3 so she could be at the gym by 4. So
opening up the place.
It literally
lady.
Don't let the gym people oversleep because
don't let them be late. Ronnie is late. She's writing a well-worded letter to somebody about this is the 3rd time this week y'all late.
Honey, posting it on Facebook and tagging the company.
Getting people fired, people getting written up. Come on, moms. Come on, sis. And that's why I ain't calling her Mom Duke some more. She's sis. The way she's working it out, I can't. I'm not worthy. Obviously, I'm not getting up early enough because I'm not looking that fit.
Well,
So shout out to her.
Shout out to mom. And mom, work on your sleep hygiene.
Yeah, mom, do better.
Angie said so.
I'm saying so. Come on now. Your daughter is a neuroscientist and she knows. I'm sure she's mentioned it on more than one occasion. Right, because she's watching you not go to bed at 9:30.
Oh,
as she's already slim, as she's getting ready with her bonnet. You got your bonnet on.
I sometimes, if she calls me around 9 o'clock, then, I'll send her a text because 9 o'clock is time for me to wind down. I can't have long conversations at that time.
Right.
So I send her a text and say, you should be in bed. It's an emergency. If not, then we'll talk in the morning because you need to be getting in bed, love bug.
Talk to you tomorrow, love bug.
Okay. The last thing before we get out of here, I wanted to share foods that also help with sleep. So they say warm milk, chamomile, peppermint, anything else that you drink before you go to bed?
Brown liquor.
Okay. That or a glass of red wine.
Or ginger brandy.
Ginger brandy. Ooh.
Ginger brandy.
Now you have to put me on.
I will. Because, we're going to.
What you going to ask me? You could go ahead and ask.
Shoot. What about them CAC streets?
We will be in the CAC streets together.
You got your thing approved.
Yes.
You got your paper.
So if anyone's attending the Clinical Aphasiology Conference, I will be hosting a roundtable on patient-reported outcomes. Is it about the difference?
Yes. And I am the keynote respondent.
Yes.
At CAC, I am so hyped and a little bit of anxiety kicking in. But because I'm fine. Oh my God. And you will be. Listen.
So after our scholarship, we can go try that ginger brandy.
I will. Don't listen. I will have a bottle with me.
Now the other foods, the foods that can help you sleep are peanut butter, nuts, banana, all of those crackers,
bananas.
Yeah. I actually saw this recipe. I haven't tried it, but it was a bananas on cinnamon toast.
That sounds delicious.
Right?
That sounds really good.
Now, I usually try not to eat too close before just because, my body doesn't really
It doesn't appreciate it.
But if you're thinking about things to help you sleep, whether it's food or drinks, try different things so you can go to bed.
Absolutely. And again, get your rest. If you're in recovery or not, get your rest because brain health is key. And it don't matter if you had a stroke or not.
Right. Right.
There you go.
All righty. Thanks so much. I'm so excited to talk about this with you today. And good night.
Y'all go to bed now.
Bye.
Peace, y'all. No, you don't.